Danny, it's been a clear week between games this week, which is rare at this time of the season, but how the lads adapted to a training week?
Yeah, I think it's been a good week for us. It was a great weekend. I think the 16s and the 18s beat Coventry. We obviously won at MK Dons. The 21s then on Monday gave us a clean sweep, beating Birmingham 3-0 at St Andrews, and literally run all over them, and some of the young players did really well. So it was a good weekend, and good teams always back it up. You know, we were pleased with the way that we responded off the back of the Wimbledon game. I thought the focus was really good from the group. But good teams, when they do well, and we did well at Reading, and then we did well at MK Dons, they back it up. So now we've had a good week of preparation. I think that the Harrogate game comes at a great time. Another home game. Very rarely do you have 4 home games on the trot, but this is great for us because we love playing at home in front of our supporters, and hopefully they enjoyed the Reading game and the MK Dons game, and yeah, we have a chance to play in front of them again this weekend.
Yeah, and obviously it's another week where there's 3 games. Does that come into your thinking at all, or do you just work on Saturday before the other 2 games?
Well, I think it's a great week for us because we have 3 really good games. We play Harrogate Town at home in a really important league fixture. We then have Brentford, the Premier League club, coming in the Carabao Cup second round, and then a really quick turnaround, that being on the Wednesday, and then us having to travel Friday to Accrington to play on the Saturday. So it's going to be a busy week. It's going to require the whole squad, which is good because we've got a lot of faith in the whole group, and there's a lot of boys in good form, playing well, putting their hands up. Like I said on the Monday after the MK Dons game, the young boys, Frankie Terry scored. Oscar Fong was terrific in that game. Milton Oni, who'd had a great week, backed it up with another really good performance. Himself and young Alfie Bendel controlled the midfield as well. So there's a lot of good performances. There's a lot of people, like I said, in a good moment, and yeah, it will need the whole group next week. And yeah, this has been good because it's given people a real focus this week in preparation for that.
And Harrogate, obviously a side that did pretty well last season. I think Simon Weaver's been there 15 years, longest serving EFL manager, so you must have a lot of respect for what he's done there at, traditionally not a long-standing EFL club.
Absolutely, I think it's a really unique story. Obviously, Simon's dad's the owner, and Simon obviously the manager, and they've come through the non-league and are now a very, very competitive League 2 team. I think they were right on the edges of the playoffs all last season, and there's a lot to like. I think they have a really humble, hard-working group, very, very competitive with a lot of quality as well. We went there quite early in our tenure last year, and actually played really, really well, but they still found a way to win, and this is what they do. And yeah, last year just missed out on the playoffs. No doubt this year they'll want to be in and around the promotion places, and we anticipate a really tough game against a good team with a lot of good players.
Yeah, will it be a different test completely to MK Dons, or will there be similarities in what you have to do?
Well, I think this is what's great about the EFL, that week to week the games can look so different, and the challenges, the consequences are varying. And I think MK are a team that have a clear identity, want to really dominate the ball. I think Harrogate are a team that can mix it up. We saw them against Bromley, where they play a 4-2-3-1, and they're trying to play through the pitch and overload you in central areas. They've got boys like Thompson and Matt Daly, who are really good at speeding the game up off the back foot. And then off the back of the Bromley game, in the last 2 games, they went to Lincoln and beat Lincoln away and played with a back 5, didn't come out, played on transition, and were a real counter threat with James Daly and Sam following as 2 forwards that chase lost causes, run the spaces, and yeah, they were well deserving of their win against Lincoln. And then they had another really competitive performance against Accrington at the weekend away from home. So yeah, great for us because I think we're a group that's quite early in our development. We overcome the challenges of Reading, who are a really high pressing team. We overcome the challenges of MK Dons, who were a really possession-based team. We now have a different challenge against Harrogate, and they'll ask different questions, and we'll have to find different solutions. And it's been great for us this week to get back on the grass. And I think the overriding feeling from Saturday was that we were able to beat MK Dons while there's still loads to improve on. And I think that's why we were so pleased. Like, we were able to win, but still there was lots to work on and to improve on. And yeah, we've spent this week just trying to make small inroads into trying to be better than yesterday ultimately, and to keep trying to develop the players individually and the tactical idea collectively.
Yeah, and away from the actual training ground itself, out on the pitches, Lewis Richardson coming in and talking to the guys. How did that go down with the lads? Yeah, brilliant.
It was, I remember saying to you, I'd obviously followed all of his fights, and I'd watched him beat the Serbian guy in the first round, and then he so competitive. I thought he was so unlucky to lose the semi-final. But what an achievement to get a bronze medal. And then when I heard him speak, obviously I knew he was a Colchester boy. And I heard him speak, I think maybe for BBC Radio 5, and he just spoke with such humility, and I thought, oh wow, this boy's got a really good story, and there's some really good learning for our young players to take. So then I think I spoke to you, and I said we've got to find a way of getting him to the training ground, because I think he could be really, really inspiring. And he came in on Tuesday. He watched us train. We had some lunch with him, and then he just told his story. Just what a brilliant story. Come from a working class background. Loved football as a young person. Mum and dad didn't have a car, so he couldn't play football as a young person. It wasn't until he was about 10 that he was able to find a team and then have the transport to get around, and kind of just loved football. Started as a centre forward, ended up as a centre half. Told some really good stories around that, and then just fell on boxing really, and something that he was really good at. But the discipline and the commitment that he's had to show to get through the qualifiers, you know, his Olympic dream was almost taken away from him because his weight was taken out of the Olympics. So he then had to try to find a way of fighting at 71 kilograms. Well, when you're 6'2", this takes a huge amount of discipline and commitment, and he's had to train incredibly hard, you know, strip his body weight down, be really, really disciplined in terms of his food intake, and just to hear about the hard work that went in just to get to the Olympics and then to obviously medal. And he showed the boys his medal. The medal went round the group, and I always think success leaves clues, and whenever we can get especially boys that come from the area and have lived similar lives to ours. You know, we've got a lot of boys a lot of young players that are trying to become elite athletes themselves. And it was so great for him to come in. We so appreciated his time. And the best part of it all, that morning he'd been back to his local gym and just done a spinning class, just like a council-run gym, and just so down to earth, and no hairs and graces, and just he had been there. He said he actually said that they stopped and gave him a standing ovation, which he absolutely deserved. And he's definitely got supporters in all of us now, and we're looking forward. Hopefully, we might get to it as he. I no doubt he's going to turn professional at some point. We hopefully we'll be able to get and watch one of his fights. And the boys were keen to ask him about his boxing, and I think Alex Woodyard liked his boxing, and Samson as well. Samson was asking him about street fighting, which was, I'm not sure if he was offering him out, but it was no, we had some good fun with Lewis, and we were so proud and so appreciative of him coming in and speaking to the boys.